And we are back. Appreciate y'all tapping in with us on this lovely edition of the Doing All Right, Brian. We got a short week on us today, man. We got a Wednesday show. We're gonna break down both sides of the Kansas City Chiefs. Big game, Brian. We're gonna talk about their offense and their defense. And somebody was asked, well, Voch, we're gonna find a way to still do questions.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I don't know. We'll figure it out, because after we have a game to talk about on Friday, we're probably more than likely going to break down that game. But this is going to be a weird week, so I'll find a way to match it up because the next game will be a Thursday game, I believe, huh?
Yeah, Detroit.
Yeah. So we all going to figure it out on the fly. But just as of now, we're going to break it down today. No show tomorrow, but enjoy the game. We'll come back and break down the game on Friday, and we'll come back and do some cool stuff next week. Brian, top to bottom, talent-wise, operation-wise, considering both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
The Chiefs would be the most complete team that you've played against, would you say?
I think when you look overall, though, when you talk about complete Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame coach, outstanding defensive coordinator, special teams coach is outstanding as well. Team that's been, you look at all the playoff success, the championships that they've been a part of, the Super Bowls. Yeah, it's. I don't think it's the team, that kind of team, but the pieces are still there from those teams that have been really, really good Super Bowl teams.
Brian, I asked you, man, because we just played the Super Bowl champions, Brian, defending Super Bowl champions.
Yeah.
They have a really good team.
They do.
But I still looked at the Eagles and said, man, Jalen Hurts ain't for real. There's things that you could do to kind of, dilly-dally with that. But the Chiefs don't have a Jalen Hurts problem.
Right.
They have a Hall of Fame quarterback that's heating up, honestly. He's getting hot right around now. You got an offense like a read run offensive operation that could, give you some fits, and that's a good defense on the other side that can offer you some issues. Now this Eagles defense on paper is much better than the Chiefs defense.
Yes.
There's still some guys that can give you issues, but that's what it's all about, finding the matchups though. Before we get going on, Brian, what I'm saying?
Oh.
Ask you some stuff.
Sure.
Put that up there. Man, Brian, boy, we got some injuries, man. Everybody kind of banged up, their legs hurting. We just had a game.
Yeah.
So I can understand why the practice report was so robust.
It was.
Yesterday, Bryan Broaddus. But do we have any lingering situations that's going to roll over into Thursday's game? Today probably going to be walkthrough day, right?
It's day before the game, so
they probably going to kick it and just look at the whiteboard and just try to recover for tomorrow. So are there any injuries that was on that initial injury report, Brian, that are going to roll over until Thursday's game? Who will be available? Who won't be, you think?
Yeah, let's start off first off with George Pickens. George Pickens has been on, if everybody who follows our show, I'm sure, follows what's going on with the Cowboys and the injury report, and George Pickens has been a guy that's been limited to his ability to practice or to walk through, and he's been banged up in a couple of different areas. George Pickens should be good to go. Talking to some folks yesterday, I said, hey, listen, how severe are these injuries he's dealing with? Everybody's saying, their injuries are they're not serious, but they're limited in him right now on the short week, but he will be available to play. The guy that probably will not be available for you is Tyler Guyton at left tackle. I would expect that Nate Thomas will get the start. The ankle on the short week for Guyton just could not respond fast enough. He's been a DNP the last 2 days. Today he'll likely be a DNP, and then he'll probably be put out. So as we've kind of talked about Nate Thomas, and we'll get into some matchups with Kansas City and George Karlaftis and people like that. But, look for Nate Thomas to be your starting left tackle on Thursday when the Cowboys battle the Chiefs.
That might be a little cool for us too, Bryan Broaddus. You know what I'm saying? This might be the best game to do that, because looking at the Chiefs defense and kind of some of the guys that they have rushing, they don't really got the bursty edge capturing guys.
No, they don't.
That'll kind of beat up on them. Think about the Cardinals game, or like the Broncos game or whatever. Those type of guys that give you issues, like those outside bendy type dudes.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Sweats, or, think about the Benitos or the Coopers from the other game, or even Zaven Collins from the Cardinals, right?
Sure.
Those dudes on the edge can kind of give you some hits. But the Chiefs got some powerful kind of run down the middle of you guys a little bit.
Sure.
Chris Jones is like special, but we're going to get into the defense breakdown in a second. But just of those guys that Nate Thomas could run into, I would say that this is the 1 week where where that matchup kind of favors him a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, if you look at overall though with the Chiefs and with George Karlaftis, I mean, he's going to play both sides of the defense here for the Chiefs, and occasionally you're going to get Chris Jones that's going to, in some special packages. Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, will put Chris Jones as a defensive end. I'll be interested to see if he puts him over to the side of Terrence Steele, maybe a little bit more with the power over a guy who kind of struggles with power a little bit. But that's kind of an interesting way that they play. But George Karlaftis, you have to be very mindful of him as a pass rusher. This is a team that doesn't have a lot of sacks. They don't have a lot of pressures. They get pressure through blitzing. So now it turns into, okay, can you handle Karlaftis one-on-one? He's a high-effort, high-motor player. He's going to kind of give you everything he has every rush, and he doesn't wear down. When you start to talk about Steele and Nate Thomas, you have to finish with this guy. You cannot let him continue to rush and beat you just because you think the ball is gone. We've seen Dak Prescott, throughout the season, be able to move, buy time. You have to keep on Karlaftis in this football game because he is a guy that will win just because of effort. He doesn't always win because of talent. He just wins because he will outwork you. And so Nate Thomas and Terrence Steele have to be worried about that, or have to be concerned about that, and make sure that they finish there. But it's a team that like I said, the pressure really comes from the blitzing, but they haven't. If you look at the numbers for the number of times they blitzed, they haven't gotten home as much as what Steve Spagnuolo teams have in the past. So here it is for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he handles pressure well. He does a good job of reading things. When the Chiefs do blitz, it's going to be about Williams helping with the blitz pickup stuff. And then if you kind of get that thing taken care of, then there's the opportunity to make some throws down the field.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it then, Brian. We've put some words into this defense already. Let's go ahead and get into it a little bit. Brian, I think they are a team that's kind of going to deal with the run really well.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? The Cowboys are a team that wants to run the football. Brian, before I get into it, let me ask you this. Bryan Broaddus.
Mm-hmm.
In order for your offense to reach its max potential,
right,
do the Cowboys have to run the ball effectively, or do they simply just have to threaten the run?
I think it's to me.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand. And the threat. I think that they can run the ball against this group. I can. I feel like. I mean, it's a good tackling team. Don't get me wrong. But I kind of feel like, though, they're giving up a little less than 100 yards a game, 97 yards. But Dallas has played against some teams that have had some pretty good run defenses and had some success doing it. So I'm not going to sit there and act like, well, Dallas has to do it just to have balance. I think Dallas can run the ball against anybody and have some success doing it.
Last week showed you that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even go back to the Raiders game. I was making such a big deal about the Raiders' inside defense and how they were only giving up 3.7 yards a carry. What did Dallas do? Dallas ran the ball. Last week you got about 111 yards, between Williams and Davis. If you get that again, that's good work right there. I just feel like that Dallas, I don't see there's any defense that would just make me feel like, oh, well, Dallas can't run the ball. Initially, I thought, well, it's going to be kind of a work in progress.
Sure.
But I think that I don't think Dallas has to just say, well, we have to run the ball to keep somebody honest. I think they can run the ball to be a part of their offense and also to help them, help their play caller and then help their quarterback along the way.
Brian, I'm with you. I think this offensive line being healthy matters a ton in
it. It does.
And the runner that we have, of course. But, even if it's a situation, even if it's a situation where, okay, the Chiefs get a couple of early stops.
Sure.
Whatever, right? I love what Schottenheimer did last week. Mm-hmm. Even going down 3 scores, stay on it.
Stay with it.
Stay on it, because if you keep running, it makes them have to keep defending it, and by way of you constantly doing that, your pass game is going to always be there.
Right,
Brian, this is a pretty good defense. I think you can put hands and feet on them, and Pickens being available, banged up but available. I think that's fantastic news for us.
Right.
Because if he can go, man, they got medication where you can't feel your leg hurting. For, you know what I'm saying, for like 3 hours. You know what I'm saying, and then you have to deal with it. But then the next game will just carry over and we'll be fine. You know, until next Thursday, we'll just heal up over that time, Brian. But I think just watching the Chiefs, I think they're good versus the run because they kind of bully people up front. And maybe that's why they're not good pass rushers, because they got run dudes up there.
Well, it's very similar to what Dallas is dealing with, though. If you talk about, because we've brought up about the 5-man line stuff and things like that, how much do you really want to play that? But you've got guys up front that are some powerful players. I mean, Chris Jones, I don't think Jones is having the type of year he's had in the past.
Normally, yeah.
But he's a guy that's still, just try don't block him and see what happens. See what happens in that situation. But yeah, Kansas City's a team that has a lot of pride with the way that they play their run defense. I just feel like that Dallas is so much better equipped now to go into a game. And if somebody plays good run defense, well, you know what? They can handle that. There was a time where I didn't think they could handle that. Yeah. I think today they can. So yeah, it's going to be about, how do you get Jones with Tillery, those guys? How do you handle the inside guys? Bolton, the linebacker, a guy I've absolutely loved when he came out of Missouri. I would love for the Cowboys to have drafted him. He's done a great job throughout his career at Kansas City. They've got some guys that play well at linebacker. And so, and like I said, they're a very good tackling team. It's going to be a challenge, but I don't think it's one where Kansas City is just going to completely shut you down. I think Dallas has the guys up front and at tight end as well, and the running style of the running back to be able to handle this. And as I mentioned before, I think it helps them win this football game, and it'll help them not just for the balance out aspect, but it's an element that they can maybe wear these Chiefs down with it.
Brian, we're talking about something pre-show that can get the Chiefs in a bit of a tiff or a bit of a pickle.
Yeah,
they find themselves
Buffle.
Not a kerfuffle. It's like a fight, but a pickle. They'll find themselves in quite a bit of a pickle here, Brian. They mostly want to get pressure blitzing.
Right.
They don't always get home.
Right. They've had trouble getting home.
They've had trouble getting home.
Right.
Man, Dak Prescott kind of tear the blitz up a little bit, Brian.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does.
This is a team that runs a bunch of, man, and when you run like man cover 1 and cover 3 is all the same thing to me.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I was taught that a long time ago. But man, not only does Dak tear the blitz up, but he eats cover 3 for breakfast.
Yeah.
And cover 3 blitz, like if you blitzing out of that look, whatever you want to, you know what I'm saying? Because it turns into cover 1 and then we go party, right, Brian? Man, you was kind of talking to me a little bit pre-show, and you was like, man, you think they go like blitz a little less?
Yeah.
Because of Dak and who he is?
Yeah.
I was like, they better not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you blitz, you better not neither.
Yeah.
I think you're well equipped to kind of deal with these guys and kind of how they operate. And you see how them blitzing and not get home, how it affects their corners a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because McDuffie can play.
Absolutely.
I think he's their best corner, but just watching the film, going back over it, Brian, and looking at the numbers real fast, I'm more so film guy. I noticed, I even came here, I say, Brian, like McDuffie's their best guy, but I don't see teams going away from him.
No, they don't.
Teams like last week, people go away from Mitchell.
Right.
Quinyon Mitchell.
Right.
They'll go find Adoree Jackson.
Right.
I was looking for people to find. That's my weekly thing that I like to do. Find the scrub guy.
Right.
So I look up the big plays. I look up touchdowns and kind of see who they going after. They get a lot of plays on the safeties. Mm-hmm. Their free safety kind of get lost in space.
Brian Cook, yeah.
By them playing cover 1 and cover 3, they walk down the box safety sometimes.
Right.
He get whooped in coverage.
Right.
I see Bowden giving up plays in coverage sometimes too.
Sure.
But man, they go throw the ball against McDuffie too, and he's giving up two touchdowns and like 200-something yards this year, bro.
Yeah, but the thing about with McDuffie though, if you look at in the film shows that they're trying to go after him, but also though the numbers say that he gives up less than 40 yards a game. I mean that's where he's at. He is not. You could attack him, but beware attacking him. He's a guy that the tight man coverage that he plays, there's not a lot of separation in the way, that he's just not going to give you a lot of room. And I think that's the thing. Last week you played against a guy with Mitchell, DeJean, similar things. Now, your weapon in this game, your absolute weapon in this game is going to be George Pickens. George Pickens, when it comes to dealing with press coverage, man coverage, has been one of the best in the National Football League. This year, when you watch him play, when teams try and press him, his ability to make plays on tight window throws, and especially, though, contested balls, he's been outstanding, and especially plays down the field. Him and CeeDee Lamb, when the ball has been down the field, both of them have found ways to make plays. So what's going to happen is for McDuffie, he is going to try and limit what you could do. And for the most part, he's had success this year. But I don't think he's had to deal with a guy like what he's with George Pickens. I think George Pickens, the way that he's playing right now, he is one of the best, I'm not going to say just best receivers, he's one of the best offensive players in the National Football League right now in the way he's going. So if in fact Kansas City stays true to form, they come after you with the blitz, they come after you with some man coverage, then you're going to see Dak Prescott, who's had success, and then also George Pickens, who's had a lot of success. And I would even include CeeDee Lamb in this thing too. I know CeeDee Lamb has had his problems here, and I know that everybody seems to be on him about that, but this could be a very, very big game for him as well. So the Cowboys are, as you say, very well equipped to play against a team that's willing to blitz and willing to play some man coverage.
It's just the Eagles, man. CeeDee Lamb will be fine this game. He only dropped passes against the Eagles, so we ain't playing him no more unless, if we go to the playoffs, they ain't going to be there. But whatever. Brian, I just want to tap in with the Chiefs offense then, Brian.
Sure.
Man, Pat Mahomes, man. There's the internet's a scary place, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Internet's a scary place, and national media can be scary too. If you listen to their little narrative, they would make you believe that Patrick Mahomes ain't shit no more, Brian, bro.
Right.
They'll lead you to believe that, man.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Pat can make this embarrassing on Thanksgiving.
He absolutely can.
If we don't bring our lunch pail, Pat can make this thing embarrassing. We talked about it on different shows yesterday, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Smith, top tier guard over there.
Yes.
And I think even with Trey Smith being there, you still got dudes that can make it a tough fight against him. Because Dickerson's a guy that's good, but you can make it a tough fight because you got guys. Trey Smith ain't gonna be playing. Both of his ankles, high and low.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Take your pick.
Yeah, pick, whatever direction you want the ankle to go. But he's going through that. So Mike Caliendo and Kingsley Suamataia.
Yeah.
They're going to be your guards, Brian, with Creed Humphrey in the middle.
Yeah.
Good pass blocking unit.
Uh-huh.
If I had more time to watch film this week, Brian, I would hyper-focus on the kind of pass rushes they were going against.
Sure.
We'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. I wonder, if I had time to research, I wonder what's the pass rush versus Patrick buying himself time.
Yeah,
because I wonder if the sack numbers are low because Pat gets away from sacks and stuff like that, or is it how many top tier interior guys have y'all lined up against like that? Because this Cowboys pass rush group is a unique group.
Right.
It's a unique group, and I'm glad it's not on film like that. Shouts out to Landon Dickerson again.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this is a look in the middle of the season that you can still kind of surprise teams for, and they haven't figured out an answer for it.
Right.
As far as breaking down the film yet, Brian. But three interior dudes where you can't really help each other out. This 5-man front has the potential to be something interesting, Brian. And if you're gonna line those guys up, even though this is a good pass blocking unit, I still think you can find matchups in there, whether it be versus the backup right guard. Kingsley's very athletic, but I don't think Kingsley's all that powerful.
No,
but I still think you can run right through him. And Creed, hey man, let's do best on best then. If you want to take Creed, I'll take Quentin Williams, and I'll take that fight every single time, bro.
Sure,
Brian. How would you deal with this Chiefs passing attack? And we'll talk about the runs in a little bit.
Yeah.
But from the offensive line and from the wide receiver standpoint.
Yeah, I think that this is a team that really doesn't want to throw the ball downfield very much. I mean, and they've got some explosive guys, but you look at how they are. It's a lot of it is we talked about, and you mentioned on the other platforms that you and I participate in, that when you watch, say, the runs, 10-plus runs, 10-plus yard runs, and you would say, okay, look, well, there's Kareem Hunt, there's Pacheco. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3 of those. And then, but of 32 runs, it's 20-something are Pat Mahomes running around. It's Pat Mahomes going back to pass and then just taking off and run. Some design runs, but not to the point where you would say, oh, wow, they're just RPOing you to death. No, it's really about Mahomes dropping back. Things break down. He can't get the ball out. Pressure kind of in his face a little bit, and then he takes off running. So, yeah, that's really kind of what you're dealing with in this football game. We've talked about guys, during the season, like, well, running quarterback, right? It's a running quarterback. And then it really doesn't materialize in the game. And then you get Kansas City. This will be a running quarterback. This guy, he believes in, and especially you get him down near the red zone. And all of a sudden, it's like he could find a way to get that 18-yard run when everybody's in coverage, and he kind of goes out the right side, and then he's diving for the pylon. I saw plenty of those types of runs. So, yeah, it's Pacheco coming back. It's going to be downhill runs. It's going to be Hunt, downhill runs. And then you're going to be dealing with a quarterback that is going to scramble and run himself in order to buy himself some time. They've had some problems, though, on their offensive line, and they've had some problems with some protection with the tackles. I absolutely love Josh Simmons coming out of Ohio State. Yeah. And there's been times where he's been very, very good, and there's times he's looked like a rookie. And then on the other side of the two, Jawan Taylor, he gives up pressure on the right side. So they've had some problems with their offensive tackles, with some pressures. They've had some problems with the guards, with Trey Smith being out. And you mentioned Mike Caliendo. That's a problem. For the number of snaps that he's played, there's about a 10% pressure rate over him. They're going to have to think about, Creed Humphrey is going to have to think about trying to help him in this football game, whether it's Kenny Clark or whether it is with Quinnen Williams. They can't let Mike Caliendo block by himself in this football game and expect to get away with it.
Man, Brian, back in the day, meaning like September.
Yeah.
I'd have walked in this
Back in the day, 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
Yeah.
I'd have walked in this thing and said, boy, Caliendo finna block us up front.
Yeah.
Boy, Kingsley finna go back to right tackle and block the hell out of us, boy.
Sure.
I think I feel comfortable now saying the Cowboys can take advantage of matchups in the pass rush department.
They can.
And it's so crazy how like one verse can mess the whole game up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm talking about Quinnen now. Like one guy changes everything.
Right.
And now everybody kind of operating in their stride, Bryan Broaddus. But I'm not going to continue my bit. I've officially retired the bit. Mm-hmm. I know Shotty, according to Derek Hughes, and Shotty came out and said, hey, man, the pass rush could have been a little better. It could have been.
Mm-hmm.
But, Brian, I was here in September.
Right.
I was here in September.
No, you're absolutely right.
And we're leaps and bounds.
Right.
It's night and day from what we used to be, Brian. So now looking at it from a pass rush standpoint, even if you look at a situation and say, all right, well, Donovan Ezraku maybe is slowed down as a pass rusher. He's gotten much better as a run defender.
Right.
Even if you feel like Donovan slowed down as a pass rusher, I wouldn't say that. I just say Quinnen, Kenny, and Osa getting there faster.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the Cowboys gonna have to win at. Moving forward, all the rest of these 9 or so games or whatever, like that's how the Cowboys gonna have to win. They're gonna have to win with interior pressure.
Yeah.
As far as coverage goes, Brian, I like to think of matchups and how you roll guys out. Savon Ravel played a bunch of snaps for you last week. Kalen Carson had some cramps, dehydration.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, cool. Kalen Carson, drink your water, man. You know what I'm saying? Drink.
Everybody drink their water.
Hey, Kalen Carson, you know what I'm saying? drink some water, my guy, because these people ain't paying us no money. Talk about this water. Kalen, drink your water. I think this Chiefs wide receiver room, I think they all got a skill set that they're good at.
Yeah.
But I don't see just one guy that's going to beat the shit out of you like we've seen before.
Right.
Like we've seen some wide receiver rooms where it's like a monster of a receiver and then a couple complimentary guys.
Right.
I think all these guys are like real good number 2 types.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got speed on the outsides, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, they can run.
Right.
Rashee Rice will move over to formation, but he's like the yak guy, powerful guy, tough to bring down, contested catch, whatever. That's his game. But Brian, I'm not looking at any of these guys and saying that we can't cover them.
Yeah, I think that to me they could say it's Mahomes likes to throw the ball unless he throws the ball to Thornton. Mm-hmm. Thornton is the one guy, number 80, that's the vertical player for them. That's going to be the down the field shot guy. If they're going to launch a pass, Pat Mahomes is going to likely throw it to him because we've seen him make some vertical plays. But you mentioned Brown, Worthy, Rice.
Yes, sir.
A lot of it is this: throw it to him short, let him yak, let him run. That's really, really a big part of what they do. I have to also say this, though. You have to be careful in this game because what Mahomes will do, and Andy Reid has always been really, really, really good at this, is the screen game stuff. They'll get Pacheco going, we'll get Hunt going. Dallas has to be able to play better in the flats. They have not handled back out of the backfield. We broke down a play for you, though, the other day where you did have Overshown make a tackle with Saquon Barkley in the flat. Boy, that was a welcome sign. Hopefully that kind of carries over into this particular game. So we'll see how it all plays out. But Dallas has to be very mindful of the screens, the underneath stuff, quick passes, ball out if they can, and then being able to rally and tackle. But don't let these guys beat you in the flat, and don't let the screen game hurt you.
I feel really confident in the Cowboys' ability to run on defense. Like, just, you sit a couple guys, you elevate a couple guys, you get much faster as a defense. Right. If the Chiefs aren't going to attack you down the field, I think that's like a favor to us. I think it is. I think they do us a favor.
Yeah.
So if they want to check down and kind of like meander downfield, cool. I think it's when you try to explode is really how you how you whoop the Cowboys. But if they want to keep everything in front of them, I can see the Cowboys doing that cover 4 thing that they do sometimes.
Sure.
Maybe they'll cut down some of the depth on it and just like keep everything in front and just pass rush.
Yeah.
And I'm befuddled that I'm even talking about the Cowboys defense like that. But if they do it this game, what they've done in the last two, if people want to say Voch is just the Raiders, I hated it, but I understand.
Oh, sure.
If somebody wants to say, well, Voch, we know Jalen Hurts and how he operates.
Yeah.
Cool.
You remind us of that every time you get a chance.
He ain't good. All right. if you don't want to get excited about your defense, fine. But, Brian, I'm just thinking about the idea that if you can go out there and have a good defensive day versus the Chiefs and your offense go out there and score.
Sure.
Don't shoot yourself in the foot, limit the mistakes, and just play some good defense versus these dudes. And it happens.
Right.
Brian, I might get back in the playoff talk, man. Man. You because if you could do that, you can make a run because this offense is,
Yeah, you've put yourself in a bad situation with some of the early losses, and we've talked about it. The Arizona loss right now looks terrible. Carolina loss, Carolina is what they are. Congratulations, they're playing better. The Bears, they were 0-2 at the time when you played them and you lost. That's unfortunate right there. So you put yourself in the situation where you now got to pick off some games. You picked off the Philadelphia game. When you did the preseason, where you look at the schedule and say win, loss, you're probably kind of saying, oh, well, maybe Dallas at home against Philadelphia, that's a win. A loss to start the season. Okay, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But now you're to the point where when you were looking at the schedule, you were probably saying Kansas City's a loss, Detroit's a loss. No, you need to find a way to win this game on Thursday. You need to find a way to put 3 games together and then go take your chances at Detroit in a week's time. Go do that. Let's see what Detroit's made of. Let's go see. If you're playing better, you're playing better on defense. You're playing a little bit better on offense. George Pickens is an absolute star. You run the ball well. Your quarterback is playing at a very, very high level. Go take your chances for the remainder of the season. But you got to go out and, as you mentioned, you've got to go out and play some really good defense against a Hall of Fame quarterback, a guy that's a magician when it comes to driving his team and winning some games. But Kansas City on the road has not been the same Kansas City team we've seen in the past. So if Kansas City decides they want to play with their food, take advantage of that. Take advantage of that. If they want to fumble around don't block and don't run the ball well, and Mahomes still has a couple interceptions here and there, or they don't do, it's a team that struggled in the red zone. If they want to sit there and kick field goals, fine. But take advantage of that. Find a way to go get a win on Thanksgiving. And then, like you said, you can start to talk about going to Detroit and what the playoff scenarios look like.
Man, Brian, I ain't gonna lie, man. I might go to jail. The Cowboys go out there and take care of business, man. But I think it's possible. I think
it is possible.
To do it. You have to lose, and I think just like on paper now, it's making sense to say that this, that this game
defense. Well, yeah, the defense now gives you hope. The defense gives you hope. The offense has always given you hope, but this defense now, you could legitimately say teams probably can't gash you running the football, and you've got guys in the back end that can actually cover.
Yeah.
That's a difference from what this team looked like 6-7 weeks ago.
Yeah, Broncos scoring 44 points.
Yeah.
Panthers scoring 30. You know what I'm saying? Like the Packers scoring 40. Man, Packers ain't scored 40 points since on nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Y'all enjoy the game tomorrow. Enjoy everything about tomorrow. That's kind of what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Whether it don't matter what you have. It's about being happy for what you have. You know what I'm saying? So if you got family, be happy for them. If you ain't got family, be happy that you healthy. If you ain't healthy, be happy that your 10 toes and your 10 fingers work. If they don't work, be happy that you can hear me and Bryan Broaddus talking to you. You know what I'm saying? There's always something to be grateful for. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm practicing gratitude myself, so it ain't just me telling y'all. Like I'm working on it as well. You know what I'm saying? So be grateful for what you have. You know what I'm talking about? Follow our website, Crown Global Media. Check us out. Everything is on there. From the merch is there. Well, Brian.
No merch today.
Brian is repping Bennett, but go ahead and get you one of them tumblers there. Go over there, get you some merch. Check our social media pages, the audio, Spotify. It's all there on crownglobalmedia.com. Appreciate y'all. That's Bryan Broaddus. I'm VOCHLOMBARDI. We'll catch y'all after this whooping that we put on the damn Chiefs. All right, Friday, Crown.